you say? AC?
AOC, that's what they call themselves.
There's two places that I had went. I went to the one on 125th in Madison.
Right.
And I just sat in there. I went in there and I sat there. And then I went to the one in Vermont. They went to East New York, Brooklyn. I went to my neighborhood, and when I was in the neighborhood, they was right there by the welfare building on Euclid. And if you're familiar with the East?
Yeah, East New York, yeah.
On Euclid and Pinkin. They was by the welfare building. So I sat there, I spoke, I listened, and then I spoke to them. They gave me a paper. I went to the address. As a matter of fact, look. I went and I
believe you, but
I sat in their church.
But the only thing you didn't quite understand was the hatred part. That's it?
That's part of it, yeah.
No, brother, it had to be more than that. It had to be more than that. No, I believe you.
I believe you, my brother. If you ask me, and I'm telling you, I'm in the Lord, my brother. Believe me, this is going to lead to something. All I have is this testimony in this world.
That's all you need, brother. That's what I'm telling you. That's all you need.
As far as me being able to do that, if that's His will, everything's going to work for me, and I could do something like what you're doing, or I'll be joined to someone right now. That's not how it is.
That's all you need, brother.
I come in contact with brothers. I see their lies. I see they start playing these deceptive games, having double-minded conversations.
Then, brother, what did I tell you? Learn it and do it yourself. You talking to the perfect person that's doing that. You see what I'm saying? When Yahanan and the other brothers had to leave for better living for themselves, and they visited the last time they visited 2 weeks ago, and that was a beautiful service we had here, man. That was beautiful, man. But when they left, I didn't stop and say, yo, you know what? I have nobody with me. I'm gonna just forget about this whole thing. And nah, brother, I got out there and I still pushed this word through the spirit of Yahawashi, man. At the end of the day, we got to work out your own salvation anyway. You see what I'm saying? As much as me and you build, I can't save you, and vice versa, you can't save me. You know what I mean? So that's what I told you, man.
I'm already saved, brother. This word already confirmed that.
Right. Okay.
And I could forfeit it if I was to go. I'm telling you, the things this power has done, man.
Let me read the scripture. Let me read the scripture for you. Where's the scripture?
It's difficult to even explain certain things when you read from the Old Testament to the New Testament.
Brother, what we hear now, we building now with the Spirit, man. So whatever confusion we have, we just lay it all out, like righteous men supposed to do. You know what I mean? That's what it says in Matthew 10:22. It says, "And he shall be hated of all men." Oh, there you go. He said, "And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake." So that's not only you, that's for me as well when I'm on my job. It's Edomites, these white people look at you funny, they act funny, you know, but I just use wisdom when I'm amongst them, you know what I mean? But
give me this paper.
Okay.
No, that's the one in 125th, but they had gave me this, and I had kept it in there.
Okay, Israelite church. Oh, hell no, throw that away. They're the devil. They have red and white?
This was a while back, brother.
Nah, they're the devil. If they have red and white, they're the devil, man. They follow some guy, Tazadakia, which I cursed one of them out not too long, it was like a year and a half ago. They believe he's the God. They'll tell you an Israelite, the history, but then they say, oh, this guy Tazadakia is the God sent comforter.
But that's what I mean right there, brother. That's what hurts the heart, man. To see that us, and we wish if put Islam, the Buddha, the Hindus, the atheists, the evolution, within us, brother, within us, just mentioning the name Christ is so much division. You know what I'm saying?
But Paul said that would happen.
No, it does say it in here. It says, you know, we're going to be divided.
There was division. But then Paul said, is Christ divided? He's like,
peace, brothers, peace.
Peace, all right?
God bless, man.
He said, is Christ divided? He said,
I remember when he was saying, am I a Cephas and he is of Apollo?
Yeah, because there were divisions back then. He was like, Apollos is my teacher. The other guy was like, Paul is my teacher. And Paul cursed all of them out. Like, yo, like, did I go on the cross for you? I didn't go on the cross for you guys, man. Christ is not divided. Yahawashi is not divided, man. You know? But the main division we have with them is the doctrine. You see what I'm saying? That doctrine is, a man is not the comforter. The comforter is right in my hand, right here. This will teach you all things. So if you're teaching that, I already marked you. I know who you are. You see what I'm saying? You all marked them that cause division.
Now listen, as me and you speaking, man, I rebuke things that's contrary, brother. I've known you on from being a Christian, Israelite Christian brother, and when we ran into each other, we had peace. This is what I mean about this warfare. We'll be like this, but there's spirits that are around us, and they're the ones that start trying to, when we go in different directions. I've experienced that, even in Times Square Church. I'll go in there, when I go my way, you know, now I know how I got stabbed and cut. I'll be running with this brother. When I turn a corner, a demon that was in him going, you know, like...
Yeah, but that's the scripture. Don't be yoked together with unbelievers, non-believers.
Brother.
I mean, you work amongst them, but you don't socialize with them. You see what I'm saying? Like,
this goes with what you said right here, because this is where I learned everything.
Done.
In the book of 1 John, it says, these things I have written to you concerning those who try to deceive you. But the anointing which you have received from him abides in you. And you do not need that anyone teach you, but as the same anointing teach you concerning all things. And it is true, and it is not a lie. And just as it has taught you, you will abide in him. Everything, the way I know how to look into this word, no human being, no man or woman of flesh and blood has taught me.
Alright, let me read that. Because, brother, after you learned it for a while, but you need teachers, though, because the Lord was a teacher. He taught, before the disciples became apostles, they need to be taught. And he said, go out there and bring fruit. You see what I'm saying? John, him writing that is a teaching for us. You see what I'm saying? The apostles on down. That's what it says. Matter of fact, Acts 8:30. Because all the apostles were elders and teachers, all of them. Paul was the elder and a teacher, Apollos was the elder and a teacher, and they set up a ranking system in the church, the bishop, the minister, so the priest, so on and so forth. It says Acts 8:30. It says, and Philip ran to the man and heard him read the prophet Isaiah and said, understandest thou what thou readest? So you know this is Philip the apostle asking the Ethiopian eunuch, do you understand what you just read? He said, how can I, except some man should guide me? And he desired Philip that he will come up and sit with him. So he knew he needed a teacher. How could I understand unless a man got to guide you? You see what I'm saying? And then when you're taught, then you have to work out your own salvation. You see what I'm saying? We could teach you, whatever the case is, but like I told you, after you learn, you could do your own thing. Teach whoever, bring this word out, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to be locked down with anybody because you have liberty. You have liberty in Yahawashi. You know what I'm saying? You got liberty, man. As long as you're bringing out the correct doctrine, that's it.
That's something that's in my heart deeply.
And no brother could tell you. No brother could tell you you have to join us, because that's a lie. There's a scripture to cut that. Was it Mark 9:38? I love that scripture, man.
They said about the disciples, they was doing certain things in your name.
Yeah, he said, we saw one casting out devils in your name. We try to stop him.
Those that are not against me are with me.
And the Lord was like, why you stopping? Like, those that are against us is for my part, man. If he teaching the truth in my name, leave him alone. You got no business stopping that guy. So that cuts anybody today. So
what about with the other faiths? As far as, like, these other Christians, they saying things. The Mormons are saying one thing in the name of Christ.
Well, this is what Paul said.
The Jehovah's Witnesses is saying one thing in Christ. You see, it's sad, my brother, because and I pray as me and you come here, all the different, we two physical beings, man. But we like these streets and highways. There's many spirits that are channeling by coming in contact with each other.
Right.
It hurts the heart, man. There's no turning back ever, brother, because just in the street life, when I used to have my gun on me and when I came in contact with my enemy, it says in 30:30, a line that does not turn back from anyone. I don't know how to turn back. Not that I would want to. I've been witness to the eternal state. We're going into eternity. Yeah. Even with that childhood friend, there's things on the good side that I discern like what happens when one dies, because cars that he drove, clothing that he had, I see spirits trying to throw that before me. So it says if an olive seed was to be cast into the ground, it cannot bring forth figs. It can only bring forth olives, right? And the Lord has revealed that to me. If the part of him that died in his sins, that's the reason they continue to use those memories of the cars he drove and the clothing he had and different memories that come to your mind. That's someone that was a part of that. If you die in the Lord and this is what is in your heart, your mind is always on the Lord, that's the only thing that's going to be multiplied as a seed.
But that's the only thing that's going to be, the only thing that's going to last, that's going to go from this world to the next, is our works. That's that incorruptible
Revelation
crown.
say that too. It say
Yeah, your
from now
works.
on,
Yeah, nothing else.
follow
Nothing
you.
else gonna carry. All what these people enjoy, all these accolades that these celebrities and all that, they gonna die with all that, man. They gonna burn up with that. The scripture says the elect, even your body gonna change. You're gonna get that incorruptible body. The only thing that's gonna track is your works, man. Doing the will of the Lord. That's it. And yeah, and the scripture says your name gonna be written in walls. Like these are, and you're gonna be the real celebrities in the world to come. Because these men did what I told them to do. They were faithful, man, unto the end. That's what I'm trying to be a part of, man. I'm trying to be a part of that life. As far as these Christians and the madness that they teach, this is what Paul said, Galatians 1:7. Which is not another, but there be some that trouble you, and will pervert the gospel of Christ. Thou shalt. But though we or an angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you, that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. May curses come upon that man. That's a serious thing. He said, if anybody teach you anything else than what I have taught you, may curses come upon that man. You see what I'm saying? So that whole Jehovah's Witness, I ain't even in, that doctrine is like, what, 100 years old? What's this guy name? Charles Russell?
And look, this is a coincidence. I was in Harlem Valley. You heard of Harlem Valley?
Nah. Yeah. The Metro North up there?
Nah, it's a division for youth center.
Oh, okay.
When you get locked up as a 15-year-old, they send you to juvenile prison. Harlem Valley is the place they send me. I ran into this brother, he was Panamanian, named Charles Russell. His street name was Chase. He was a guard body Ramel. And we got real close. And when he came, we ran into each other in the parole building, right there on 40th and 8th. That was the parole building for juvenile prison. We ran into each other. Then I introduced him to that other friend that passed away. They was rapping on the mic. They was messing with rappers. And the last time I seen Brother Chase was in the funeral. You know, but I owe the childhood friend that passed away. Chase came to the funeral. And when I read the Jehovah's Witnesses, how I got started, it says this person named Charles Russell. You know, there's mysterious things in the kingdom and just in the way everything grows, man. And I mean, what coincidence is that? You know, I know that one day is 1,000 years to the Lord. These powers are warring back and forth between time and space. When Job went to worship, the devil came along. He was walking back and forth to and fro. You know what coincidence that name? I got real close to that brother Chase, and then when he went home, he had a 3 to 9. I had a 1 to 3. He went home before me because he was there before me. And then when I came home, we ran into each other. Yeah. And when I started going on my journey, because I was going to be a guard body, he was good. Brother Placine, this 5% was going to enlighten me. And I turned away because he was doing things contrary. And this is where everything will happen for me. Like, this is where I left the life of crime alone, and I started to I awoke, and bless that brother and pertaining to the Jehovah's Witnesses, I pray for them, man.
Yeah, but if they don't come out of that, they're going to be devoured, man, because the Lord ain't dealing with that, man. Like the Lord told Cain, he tried to give the Lord fruit. Lord said, I don't want that. I didn't ask for that. So I'm saying, you got to give me what I asked you for. You can't serve me any way you want. Most High got a strict curriculum, man. Very strict. Especially if you read the Old Testament and the law. Like when you read about the Levites and how they did certain things, how they had to carry this in the temple, that the Israelites had how they did the Ark of the Covenant and the sacrifice. Everything was so particular. You see what I'm saying? If any man did anything contrary to that, you got put to death.
You know we said.
That's like you remember the time of David when they were carrying the ark and the item just fell out of it and the guy went to get it, and the minute he touched it, he just dropped dead. They said the Most High was upset with him because nobody was supposed to touch anything except for the high priest. But then, so the Most High is very particular. You see what I'm saying? And that's the same way.
The word that came to my mind, to the pattern. He always used to say in the Bible, be sure that you do everything according to the pattern.
Yeah, everything has to be the way he said it, man. And that's the same way how we worship him. Same way, man. So people coming up, like the scripture says, they go to establish their own righteousness. They said they got the zeal of God, but not according to the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's starting their own doctrines.
Listen, it's an ongoing war, my brother. And I could just say, if the Lord is going to lead me, I'll get something going like this. Other than that, I'm living in the Word. I keep my Word with me. I read it and I apply it. I stay myself in prayer. I come in contact with people who's on the trains, and the jobs that I've worked, I got fired, all type of things in the shelter. You know, that's all evidence as well. When I go, in whatever way they're trying to provoke me, and I'm gonna bring up something real fast. In Marcus Garvey in Brooklyn, familiar with Marcus Garvey over there? Putnam and Jefferson. There's a shelter over there. It's the Armory.
That's the worst shelter in Brooklyn, man.
They put me in there. They said that was my shelter. So check it out. So they put me in there. So when I go in there, I put my stuff. This brother right across from me, he's smoking weed, brother, in the dorm. So I'm like this. I'm unpacking. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna tell the council. Because I'm trying to run away from this, and they put me in that shelter. I was in a hotel shelter. Then they put me in this armory. It's like Vietnam in there. So boom, when I'm unpacking my stuff, this brother right next to me lights up a cigarette. He starts to smoke right by me. I'm like, my brother, I don't smoke, man. You can go somewhere else. I'm coming to lay here. I don't smoke. That. He's ready to start to argue with me, right? So I'm not that old person. You know, back in the days, I would have just wilded out quickly. I'm like, listen, brother, I'm gonna be residing here. I don't smoke. That smoke is gonna come into me.
That shelter shit is just demons, man.
So
that's just
yeah,
demons,
I've been witness to it.
Yeah.
There's legions in there. So I ended up, I unpacked my stuff, and when I was putting it in the locker, I'm looking towards the door. I'm seeing people come in. I see this brother going like this. You know what's that, right? He was masturbating. Listen, brother, like my fuse blew a little. I was like, yo, my brother, what you doing? You masturbating? I told him, you know, all of a sudden people start to come. He's like, you watching me? What you mean what I'm doing? I'm like, I see your hand going like this. When people come by, you stop. So we had a few words. He was ready to try to come at, you know, like the way he was responding, it was going to lead to that. So I told him, like, listen, man, hell exists. Repent. I went to the council. I was like, look, they masturbating, they smoking weed in there. Take me out that door. Put me somewhere else. I'm just trying to get a job and get my own place.
You know, hell is a grave, right?
It says it in here. In the book of the book of Luke 11 says they like unseen graves. It has deep meaning, but
and it's also conditioned on earth. Because when you die, everybody goes to the spiritual realm, and but we talk about reincarnation. Everything is played out on earth. That's why some people get put to death so violently at a young age. That's their judgment. You know what I mean? Like John the Baptist was Elijah. You know that, right?
Yeah, no, I know. Job spoke about certain things also.
Yeah, okay.
When he said, you know, if a man died, you know, shall he live again?
Yeah.
All my life I would wait for my change.
Yeah.
I had that in my heart because that's what I mean. Like, that's an example. When I went to the counselor and I told him, he says, I can't do nothing for you.
Brother, man, my advice to you,
I packed my stuff and left. Brother, I went to the airport and I laid up in when the people was waiting with their luggage, and I was laying up there. But this is what I mean. If I don't have to go in deep to tell you, there's one creator that knows. Everywhere I've gone, brother, is, you know, and I said, since that, you know, the part of him that passed away, to me, like, that's how it's like I bear a part of his reproaches, if you want to call it that, when the Bible says that, because I left there, and now they put me all the way up there, 126, and I just went back in there. I was in Philly. I tried to go and get me room. Every number I called, they ain't answering. The phone was dying out. I had to go out, be wandering around, because once you wake up in the morning and Sunday breakfast, you got to go outside and stay outside.
Yeah, but like I said, brother, learn this word, and yet hopefully that shelter shit is wicked. That shelter shit is wicked. I wouldn't advise any brother to go in no shelter. You know, I pray to get a half decent job,
you know,
just get a room, and from there save up and get your own place. And then New York is tough, man. Like, you were probably better off in Pennsylvania, man. Because New York, you know, you can get a room out here, apartment, some places. It's expensive, man, but that shelter shit, that's just like hell.
Listen, if I could keep a job consistently, then I could. When I got me the Uber, right? But another experience. I went when I got my first paycheck, like 1,000 and something I made. I worked for like 5 weeks, and I was making like 1,000 and better. I went to 168th and Broadway. There's a lady over there. She has American Plaza. There's rooms there. She wouldn't pull the stunt. I gave her the money. I gave her 150 for the service and 125. The room was by LaGuardia Airport, 90 Street. When I went over there to the lady, I came with 125, just like the paperwork said. She said, "Oh, you got to give me 225." I'm like, the lady said it's 125. She has 125. She's gonna give that to you. She said, oh, I don't know about that. I was like, look, the paper says it. She said, nah, let me call them. I had the money. I could have given her 250, 125, 125. But it's just the cheating, the scheming, the you know, the greed.
You gotta pray on that. And
I ended up.
You fast a lot? Or not really?
I used to fast. I haven't fast.
That's something. Yeah, you gotta do more too.
But I was staying in the car.
Yeah.
I was laying up in the car. I would park in the highways. I lay up, wake up in the morning. I go to Park and Recreation. I got a membership to the park. I wash up, and then I swipe on and I begin to work.
Yeah, that's just crazy, man. Let me read this for you real quick. Well, you know the scripture, Matthew 10:16. Because this what we got. This scripture too is something that we gotta apply daily, man. Like on a daily basis, man. This scripture right here, man.
This word I live by, brother.
Yeah, even when I'm in the job, in the world, I gotta use this because sometimes you hear some stupid comments and you want to jump in there and tell people the truth, but you have to bite your tongue. You have to realize, nah, this is not the place for that. You know what I'm saying? See, when I was young in the truth, I wanted to tell everybody. You know, you want to battle all the time, you want to rebuke, but then you realize, they're looking at you like, what is he talking about? And it caused conflict and strife because I wasn't using wisdom. You realize that's not the place for that. You see what I'm saying? The place to do that is out here. You know what I mean? Or when you're in the world amongst the people, like Superman. When we out here, Superman got the garments, we battling the wicked, but when we in the world, you act like Clark Kent. He have his glasses on, which he don't need, and he just blends in. You know what I mean? And that's my advice to you with the word and whatnot. When you're amongst those demons, don't even, especially on your job. Yeah, when you're on your job, act like you don't know. When you hear certain things, play blind to it, man. You got to do that, man. You got to know how to blend in. That's what the scripture said. I'm going to read the scripture, Matthew 10:16. Because we all battle with that, especially every brother that come into the knowledge. That's one of the main things you battle. You know what I mean? Some dudes lost jobs over that and all that.
That's the future. That's the future pertaining to when that system comes. No one who has that, no one who partakes of that mark cannot buy and sell.
Yeah,
I've seen that, brother. When I go to a place and they try to treat me a certain way, you know, because it's like the spirit inside the person already knows me. You know,
everything is spiritual.
If our bodies are just like vehicles, literally, then you know it says in Revelation 17, these are all one, and they make war with the Lamb, and he shall overcome them.
Yeah, the beast.
The networks, the website, the internet, all of that has side effects, and it shifted the minds. It magnified more than sin because it has not done nothing to glorify God.
Yeah, everything got spirits. Everything got a spirit to it, man. Like you said, the internet has a spirit to it. You can look at good things, the word, and you can look at all kind of perverse things, man. That's how they control these people anyway. The internet, TV, that has a certain. This
brother right here, over there. He's been here for 10 years. I've seen that brother right here. Across the street over there where it says Dwayne Reed.
Really? You've seen him for 10 years?
Nah, across the street.
Yeah.
The dude with the rock, he look like Kid Rock.
Right.
You know that rock and roll dude?
Yeah.
He's been here for like 10 years on the same block.
Wow.
That's what's scary. What you said, the graves are what you said?
Yeah, condition on earth too. Hell.
It says it in here.
Yeah.
It says it on the platforms. There's this brother right there. They be right there by Broadway. He's always yelling. I don't know if you ever heard him. He be yelling real loud. I think he's Muslim because he be saying things like he be walking up to the white peoples and saying for like 10 years. I've been home 10 years. When I came out in 2007, that's the first thing I noticed. When I got off on the bus and I came to 42nd to take a train, homeless men all over the place. This dude be having like this mantle, but it's made out of blankets. He got a big beard with curly hair. I still be seeing him on the train saying the same thing. You know, let me tell you, brother, I'd be like, Lord, like, you know, like if he was trying to say like,
we don't want to be those men, you know what I mean?
No, listen. This word, brother, this word found me when I was in my sins. It was not the devil's word that I would have picked up this word, read it, confessed, and repented.
Time. But let me read this first. We got to read this too free. It said Matthew 10:16, which you know, but I'm going to read it anyway. And it's something that I'm applying more. Everybody, especially in this day and time, got to use it, man. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as a dove. You got to be wise. And part of being wise, you got to know when to say certain things, and when not to say certain things, man. You know, like when you're
that wisdom is in Solomon said that a time to speak, and a time to be quiet.
That's what he said. Ecclesiastes 7:16.
We in the end, though, brother. I mean, I pray for you, my brother.
The end is manifest, man. It said Ecclesiastes 7:16. It says, that's what Solomon said is, be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself?
I remember that to me. That's already too late, brother.
Don't be over righteous.
You cannot tell me not to walk. Christ
it didn't say righteous. It said don't be over righteous.
But look, remember it says Christ became sin that we may be right.
Yeah, he became a sacrifice.
So we are to walk in his rightness.
But you got to understand the time period you living in. Not the Bible not saying be wicked. It said don't be over righteous.
That's like what's happened already. You think it's a coincidence? I'm talking about several jobs. I got fired in the shelter. It's like,
let's say you were on your job and somebody eating pork. You be like, yo, you ain't supposed to be eating that pork, man. And you know, according to the Bible, Leviticus 11, that's being over righteous. You don't got to tell him nothing. That's it.
No, but why? Listen, that's an opportunity to engage. You could tell him in a humble way.
That's what the scripture says. Be what? Wise. That's not being wise. Because why? The job didn't hire you for that. They didn't hire you to be a preacher. They hired you to provide a certain service. They're to provide a service, and that's it. When I'm done, I want to come out here and preach. This is the place to do that. You gotta know when to use wisdom. Even Paul, when he got locked up,
it says right here, it says, the Lord God has given me the tongue of the learned, that I should know how to speak a word in season to him who is with me.
You got it in season.
So now listen, I understand it because I went to this according to what you were saying. And I mean, I don't try to just impose those things upon anyone. I tell them.
That's what you said. What? Matthew 7:6. We're gonna read it. Since we building on it, that's a good thing. Matthew 7:6. He says, "Give not which that is holy unto the dogs, neither cast your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you." He said, "Don't give this precious word to anybody." So I'm saying, don't just cast this to dogs, man. He's talking about people, and that was the Lord that. And he's also said in Matthew 10. And it's something that we all gotta apply. You see what I'm saying? Because if you don't, it'll do more harm than good. See? Now, that's it. Don't take what's precious, cast it. I wouldn't even engage that guy. You can tell he's not in his right mind. It says Matthew chapter 10. It says, this is what the Lord said. He said, Matthew 10 and 11. And into whatsoever city or town he shall enter, inquire who in it is worthy, and there abide till he go thence. So he said, and when he come into the house, salute it, and if the house be worthy, let your peace come unto it. But it got to be worthy, though. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know it is.
So even that goes for these people out here. You got to know who's worthy to receive this word. If you build close to somebody and it seems like they're a person of understanding, then you will go into that good word with them. But if it's just average people out here working amongst them, they don't have to know what you're about. You're just there to work, you handle your 9 to 5, and that's it. You go your way. Don't show them your entire day. You see what I'm saying? Because, man, we've been there before, man.
I confirm that we in there, man.
Yeah.
When I be seeing those homeless men there, like in the same platform, I'm talking about, I can start naming all the places that I recall, man. It's on Grand Street, on when you take the M and the R, going into Queens, 71st Forest Hills, on the platform on Grand, is this old man that be there. He looked like the dude from the pizzeria where I worked at with a beard. I'm talking about years, brother, years, and he's always right there. Sometimes I go by there and nobody will be there, and other times he'll be there, and I'll be like, I try to understand. Like, remember that movie Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Remember when they died, they was like spirits, so they was already like, they went into this otherworldly something.
Yeah.
And that's what comes to mind. Like, they already went through the changes, sort of. That's the reason that brother right there, he looks like Kid Rock. You never seen him? He's right across the street where it says Pharmacy RX, right under there. He's slaying over there.
I've seen that old white. He's a old white guy.
Dude.
Yeah. He
has long hair.
Yeah, screaming nonsense sometimes.
There's a few times that I spoke to him and he started to curse at me. He starts to get angry.
But you know, he's an Edomite. You know, I mean, you're going to have some Israelites that are going to look like that, but the scripture said none of the wicked shall understand. But this is a good prayer too, King David said concerning that.
Let me tell you, my brother, in my path, in this path of Christ, it says, be careful when they call out your name, because so they did to false prophets. Are you familiar with that scripture?
He said, oh yeah, woe unto you, and men shall speak well of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I've had this attention on me, like if they want to leave me, if I could be. Remember when they try to force Jesus to be the king? Remember they lay down their clothing and they put the, you know, like they said that he jetted off because that's not how he was coming.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like different things come upon me, like if they wanted to push me like that, then the next minute they'll crucify him.
They're hypocrites, man. These people are hypocrites, man. That's why you don't want them.
People are unconscious, man. The elite. This war is between the elite, as far as Michael and his angels, and the fiery red dragon and his angels.
Right.
You know, this war is between them. That the right rulers will come, man. Millions of people will be changed because everything that they need will be given. You know, the way they design the system is purposely designed to entrap. You can't tell caterpillars they just caterpillars when they're destined to be butterflies. You know what I'm saying? How are you going to create a society of inferiority and keep people thinking they just caterpillars?
Because they're the devil. They're the devil. And they were put on this planet Earth to do that. They just playing their role. Everybody playing their role. The Lord willing be on the right and not the left. They can't do right even if they wanted to.
I mean, though, brother, I met good white people, man, and that's something else too.
Well, if they,
I had told those Israelites over there on Bevermont Street, right. I was like, my uncles and my grandfather got, you know, blondish hair and green eyes. Well, so then they was trying to tell me, oh, the bloodline though, being that they like mixed up, you will have Puerto Ricans, they will have.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. Yeah, but they're still Puerto Ricans though. Because it's based on the bloodline.
You know, in reality, look, like the Lord revealed this to me. I came up, you know, this is my foundation.
It's not, we're not saying the white man gonna be just because of skin color. No, that skin color he has, that leprosy just identifies him. He gonna be just based on his actions and his deeds.
There's so much to speak, brother. Like things that want to surface, you know. But I give it to the Lord in prayer and I keep myself. But you're brother in Christ, as far as the Israelite, I call the presence of Christ with two or three together. But and may the Heavenly Father bear witness. What color was? As a matter of fact, let me read this to you, and then you ask me this question. If you want to go to it, you can go to it. I'll read it from 22 Luke. 22 Luke, chapter 3. It says, then Satan entered Judas, surnamed Iscariot, who was numbered among the 12. What led me to this right now, then Satan entered Judas. So that being an angelic being, that he got all these different names: adversary, opposer, light bearer. That's Lucifer, right? That's what that means. Lucifer was a light bearer, right? He was a musician.
But that's a man too, Isaiah 14. Yeah.
I'm just saying, right? But it says he entered him. What color were angels in heaven?
Black.
Where it says it at?
The angels are black?
Yeah.
Ezekiel the first chapter. Read it. Let me read it. Ezekiel 1.
That's what I mean, man. This is profound in this, man. And that's something that's been there. I know that it's spiritual forces. I recall when I committed sins and what kind of anger used to be taking me over when I resort to violence. So I use my own life experience to know that I had a side of me that I've been witness something greater is me that's in the world.
Right,
you know what I mean? That gives me power over that. You know, as far as the anger, it's like the people your family and your friends, he has them and he uses the memory of how you used to be. Like, you know, they know that you was hot tempered.
Hey, brother.
Good.
Well, always lucky. Like today I found his wheel here.
Yeah.
I do stick to Roman stuff. I would have been carrying it to my, you know.
Right.
There's always inflation out there, you know.
Yeah, it's hard, man. They come by and listen.
They try to make it hard. We fighting to make it easy.
Yeah. Keep fighting, brother.
Like the new elect you're talking about.
The elect, see, so you brother learning. He learning. That's good, man.
Like you was telling me about this new elect, they try to make everything hard. They want to bring her life back.
There you go. Yeah.
So God is fighting him to stop